Trust in Allah, Tawakkul, is fundamentally rooted in understanding that everything on earth exists only because Allah has made it suitable for us. A Muslim must strengthen their trust by developing certainty in Allah's names, attributes, and greatness. The stronger one's faith becomes, the stronger their trust grows. The Prophet's advice to Ibn Abbas encapsulates this: guard Allah and He will guard you. If you ask, then ask Allah, and if you seek help, then seek help from Allah. True trust develops when faith in Allah's absolute decree becomes deeply rooted in the heart, understanding that even if all nations gathered to benefit or harm someone, they could only do what Allah has already decreed. Allah dedicated an entire chapter to trust. Surah Hud, which begins with monotheism, establishes that Allah provides for all creatures, and concludes with worship Him and rely upon Him. The chapter is named after Prophet Hud because his story demonstrates ultimate trust. When accused of madness for calling to monotheism, he responded with complete trust, "Plot against me all together, then do not give me respite. Indeed, I have relied upon Allah." This trust was his strength, causing Allah to cast terror into his enemies' hearts. The chapter also includes Noah's story, showing that there is no protector from Allah's decree except for one on whom He has mercy, establishing that ultimate control belongs to Allah alone. A beautiful hadith tells of a man from the children of Israel who borrowed 1,000 dinars, accepting Allah as sufficient witness and guarantor. When unable to repay directly due to lack of transportation, he placed the money in wood and cast it into the sea, saying, "O Allah, I entrust this to you." Miraculously, the creditor found the wood while collecting firewood and discovered the money inside. When the debtor later arrived with another 1,000 dinars, the creditor told him, "Allah has fulfilled on your behalf what you sent in the wood." This demonstrates that Allah is indeed sufficient as a guarantor, guiding even a piece of wood through vast ocean waves to reach its destination. True trust involves the heart's reliance on Allah while taking appropriate practical means, but without attachment to those means. The Prophet Muhammad exemplified this balance during his migration from Mecca to Medina, taking precautions like hiding in a cave while maintaining complete trust. When Abu Bakr worried about discovery, the Prophet said, "What do you think of two whom Allah is their third?" This principle extends to all life aspects. The Prophet encouraged seeking medical treatment while recognizing that healing comes from Allah. Doctors prescribe, but treatment only works by Allah's permission. Allah sometimes breaks normal patterns, fire becoming coolness for Abraham, to remind hearts that He is the ultimate source of all outcomes. One of the greatest dangers is shirk, associating partners in trust, occurring subtly when hearts become attached to means while forgetting their Creator. This happens when someone says, "Were it not for this doctor, I would have died," without acknowledging Allah's role. Such statements, made with hearts detached from Allah, constitute minor shirk. This can occur with pilots, teachers, security systems, or even religious teachers, forgetting Allah's ultimate control. The key is maintaining heart attachment to Allah while using legitimate means, always remembering that Allah is the source of all benefits. The primary sign of genuine trust is contentment with Allah's decree, even when outcomes differ from personal desires. As Bishr al-Hafi noted, if he truly trusted Allah, he would be pleased with what Allah does to him. The Prophet taught that when something befalls us, we should say, "Allah has decreed," and what he willed, he has done, rather than if only I had done such and such. Those who truly trust Allah are the happiest people because they delegate their affairs to the one who controls the universe without exhausting themselves with endless calculations and fears. To illustrate Allah's infinite capability, this entire earth is merely in His grasp. The 7 heavens in His chair are like a ring in a vast desert. The Prophet said, if you were to rely on Allah with true reliance, He would provide for you as He provides for the birds. They go out hungry in the morning and return full in the evening. While many trust Allah for worldly needs like jobs and sustenance, some limit their trust only to material matters. The Muslim who truly loves Allah prioritizes trust in religious matters, as the Prophet taught Mu'adh, O Allah, help me in your remembrance, your gratitude, and excellent worship of you. True believers trust Allah for increased knowledge, humility in prayer, and spiritual growth, recognizing that spiritual development requires divine assistance just as much as worldly success. This prevents self-conceit, which is itself a form of hidden shirk that contradicts trust in Allah. The discourse concludes with the hadith about 70,000 entering paradise without reckoning. Those who don't seek polytheistic ruqya, don't cauterize, don't believe in omens, and trust completely in their Lord. Not believing in omens means avoiding pessimism based on superstitious signs. Not seeking ruqya refers to avoiding polytheistic healing practices, though legitimate Quranic recitation remains permissible. These represent the pinnacle of trust in Allah, complete reliance while using only the most essential and permissible means. Trust in Allah represents the heart's complete reliance on the Creator, while taking appropriate worldly means without becoming attached to them. It brings peace, happiness, and protection from both obvious and hidden forms of shirk. The key is maintaining balance between practical action and spiritual dependence, always remembering that Allah is the ultimate source of all outcomes. Those who achieve this balance become among the closest servants to Allah, living with contentment regardless of circumstances, and finding strength in their connection to the Lord of the worlds. This level of trust transforms everyday life. Challenges become easier to bear, successes are met with gratitude rather than pride, and setbacks become reminders to turn back to Allah. True tawakkul shields the heart from despair and arrogance alike, as the believer sees every gain and loss as part of Allah's perfect wisdom. In the end, trust in Allah isn't just a passive feeling, it is an active, living faith that guides decisions, softens hardships, and fills the heart with calm certainty. It turns the believer's journey, with all its ups and downs, into a path of nearness to the one who never fails those who rely upon him. Such trust also deepens a believer's relationship with prayer and supplication. Knowing that Allah alone controls every outcome inspires the heart to turn to Him sincerely and often, seeking His help in all matters big and small. This continuous turning builds humility and love, reminding us that every breath, every blessing, and every trial is part of His divine plan, and that true success lies in relying upon Him wholeheartedly